All right, guys, so we want to make a video on the even problems on the homework. So, number 4, vegetable stand. It says a roadside vegetable stand sells pumpkins for $5 each and squash for $3 each. One day, they sold 6 more squash than pumpkins, and their sales totaled $98. So we need to make 2 equations, one based on the number of items, and one based on money. Okay, so number of items, it says that there was 6 more squash than pumpkins. So when we say 6 more squash than pumpkins, whatever the amount of pumpkins is, your squash is going to be 6 more than that. So that's a little tricky. So your squash is going to be more than the pumpkins. So you don't know the squash number, but we're going to put S equals, and the squash will be 6 more than pumpkins. Okay, 6 more squash than pumpkins. So whatever your pumpkin number is, we're just going to put it as P. We're going to go 6 more than that, so you'd put plus 6. Does that make sense? 6 more squash than pumpkins. So how many squash did you sell? 6 more than the pumpkins. That's what this says right here. That's what it says right here. Now we need to make an equation based on money. Each pumpkin was $5. So we're going to put 5P plus each squash was $3, 3S. And we know that the grand total was, I believe, $98, right? It says right there, total $98. So, 98. This is your system of equations that you need to solve. So we're going to take the P plus 6, and we're going to substitute it right into the S. So let me rewrite everything. We're going to have a 5P plus 3S, but instead of S, we're putting the P plus 6, equaling 98. From there, we're going to distribute 3 times P, that's 3P. 3 times 6, that's 18. Bring down the 5P in front. Bring down the equals 98. From there, we're going to combine the 5P with the 3P, and we're going to get 8P plus 18 equals 98. There's a plus 18 equals 98. I just rewrote it. Let's continue to solve this guy by subtracting 18. Subtracting 18, we will get 8P equals 80. And now we'd have to divide by 8. Divide by 8, P equals 10. So this tells us that we sold 10 pumpkins that day. They asked for both. How many pumpkins sold and how much squash did they sell? So to find the squash, you're simply going to take the 10 pumpkins, put it right here, and you'll see squash equals 10 plus 6. So squash equals 10 plus 6, which means that squash is 16. So your 2 answers are you sold 10 pumpkins and 16 squash. And that makes total sense because it says that you sold 6 more squash than pumpkins. You sold 16, you sold 10. Makes total sense. Let's jump to number 6. Coins. Pepito has a jar of nickels and dimes. He has a total of 62 coins with the total value of $4.70. So again, we're going to create 2 equations. The first equation is based on the number of items, and in this case coins, and the other equation is going to be based on money. So when you say number of coins, we don't know how many nickels he had, we don't know how many dimes he had, but we know it's a total of how many coins? 62 coins, right? That's what it says right here. So we're going to put 62 right there. And then let's make another equation based on money. Each nickel is 5 cents. So we're going to put that as a decimal. We're going to put 0.05 times n plus a dime is, you don't have to put the first 0, but 0.10 for each D. And the total amount that he had in this jar was $4.70. So if you add the amount of nickels with the amount of dimes, the value of them, that is, you're going to get $4.70. So there's your system, but that system's confusing because it has decimals. So what we're going to do is take this bottom equation and multiply it by 100. If you multiply it by 100, what it's going to do is it's going to move the decimal place over 2 spots, making this a regular 5 with the N. Moving it over 2 spots, it'll make it a regular 10 with the D. Moving it over 2 spots, it'd make it 470 instead of 4.70. So let me do that. Let me multiply the bottom equation by 100, moving everything over 2 decimal places. That'll become a 5N. That'll become a plus 10D. And that'll become a 470. Now the top equation, I could rewrite it, but that's not going to work. My goal is to get either the N's or the D's to cancel. So I'm going to modify the top equation to make this N become a negative 5N so it'll cancel with the positive 5N. So I am going to modify the top equation. Now I'm going to multiply it by negative 5. That way I could get a negative 5N instead of a positive 5N. And when I multiply this by negative 5, that's going to give me a negative 5D. And the equal sign, and 62 times negative 5, that's negative 310. You could use a calculator if you want. Now we're able to combine the lines. The N's eliminate. You get a positive 5D equaling 160. So let's divide by 5. Divide by 5. And we'll get 32. So D is 32. So we know we have 32 dimes. And what is the question? They're asking for how many nickels did he have, not dimes. So we still need to take the dime amount and substitute it back in. So plug in that 32 right into the D. So you're going to have N plus 32 equals 62. So I'm going to rewrite that over here. N plus 32 equals 62. And of course, when we solve this, when you subtract 32 on both sides, you're going to get N equals 30. So you did have 30 nickels, or Pepito had 30 nickels. Let's jump to the last even question, number 8, museum field trip. A group of second graders are going on a field trip. An adult ticket costs $7. A child ticket costs $4. There were 55 tickets purchased for a total cost of $253. How many children went on the field trip? Okay, so we're obviously dealing with two things. The number of tickets and also money. So let's make an equation based on the number of tickets. Let's make another equation based on money. So the number of tickets, we know that there were 55 tickets that were purchased. All right. Now we do not know how many adult tickets were purchased. We don't know how many children's tickets were purchased, but we do know that the total is 55. A is representing the amount of adult tickets. C is representing the amount of children's tickets. Okay, now let's make an equation based on money. And we need to know how much is an adult ticket. It says an adult ticket is $7 and a child ticket is $4. So each adult ticket is $7. So we're going to put 7 with the A because 7 for each adult, 7 times A. And it says 4 for each child. So you're going to put plus $4 for each child. And you do have a total sale of $253. So let me put 253 right here. And there is your system. Now you just need to manipulate it to get something to cancel. So what do you think is easier to cancel out, A's or C's? C's. So let's cancel out C's by multiplying the top equation by -4. Okay, if we multiply the top one by -4, we're going to get a new top equation that reads -4A minus 4C equals 55 times 4. Actually, 55 times negative 4, that's negative 220. And then on the bottom equation, we're just going to leave it 7a plus 4c equals 253. And now we could actually combine them. The c's will cancel. You're going to have 3a equaling 253 take away 220. That's 33. So solving that equation, divide by 3, a equals 11. So there's 11 adult tickets, but they're not asking for 11, or they're not asking for adult tickets. They are asking for how many children's tickets. So if there was 11 adults and there were 55 tickets sold, in other words, we're going to plug in the 11 right in here. It'll be 11 plus c equals 55. 11 plus c equals 55. Subtract 11 on both sides. You'll get c equals 44. So there were 44 children that went on this field trip and only 11 adults.